So CBN Expert is an online community for SMEs who are interested in lowering the carbon emissions. The community provides insights, information about all things carbon and climate change, the access to other users to share best practice, and then increasingly a network of experts that can provide specialist support. And all of that is underpinned by our proprietary dashboard that allows SME businesses to easily measure, manage, track and reduce carbon emissions in their business. The world's committed to a net zero future. Being net zero by 2050 is a legally binding requirement as of June last year when the government updated the Climate Change Act. Big businesses are taking the lead as they generally do, but all of this flows through. So all of the stakeholders of business, customers, suppliers, employees are all looking for businesses to take action on climate change. So I've had 10 plus years in energy and sustainability. Started off in big corporates, ran a smaller energy software company for 5 years, and then really noticed that the conversation moved on from energy through to carbon and climate change. And then when I was looking at what I could do to support that sector, really noticed there was nothing that would support SMEs mobilising, getting engaged in a way that's acceptable to them. They're busy, short on resources and short on cash, so let's find the simplest, easiest way to get them moving. So it's a dashboard and it's designed to be intuitive, easy to look at. When you look at it, green is good, red is bad. It's an easy way to set a benchmark, which is your 12-month total of your carbon emissions. It breaks it down into carbon in energy, carbon in travel, and then you can track and report some intensity metrics. So it's a very easy, simple way for companies to see the size and shape of their carbon footprint and then start taking actions to reduce it. So in terms of cost, we've set it up that it's a fully validated dashboard and it costs as little as £2 a day for you to do, so less than most cups of coffee. In terms of how much time it takes, it uses data that exists within the organisation, so data from your energy bill, data from the cars and travel that you're doing. So probably to set up your carbon benchmark, probably 3 or 4 hours, and then to update it monthly, no more than 5 to 10 minutes. It's about 12 bits of information that you need to put in. The dashboard uses the UK government's conversion metrics for all 6 greenhouse gases. Those are published by the Department for Business, Energy and Industrial Strategy. And so therefore it's reporting in the same way as big companies do for their Scope 1 and Scope 2, which is the emissions they generate internally within their business. So it's all hosted on the cloud. It's all hosted to the highest levels of cyber security, hosted in the UK. So it's remote from your business. The dashboard is a manual input of data, so there are no links into the networks and systems in your business. In terms of who will look, within the dashboard, you can assign yourself to a community, which might be other users or one of our expert partners, so you have the right to give permission for supporting experts to view your data. Other than that, it is your data and your dashboard. So we have initially a whole load of videos that are hosted on the site. We've put those into kind of 30, 60, 90-second blocks, so you can look at the part of the solution that you want to, or there's help through our expert partners or directly through us to be able to answer your questions. So there's a full level of support to get you up to speed. What we've found is that the solution is so simple, most people find it quite intuitive to start with. So it's important when you're putting a dashboard together that if you're communicating that to stakeholders, that there's a way the stakeholders can rely on that data. And so the future net zero standard we see is very important because it is essentially a validation of your dashboard independently saying that the carbon footprint reported is correct. And when you are asking your customers or your other stakeholders to rely on what you're reporting, it's just another stamp of validation that you can show them. So as I say, the world's moving to a net zero future, so everybody has to be focused on reducing their carbon emissions. Everybody has to be net zero by 2050. There are implications that you cannot trade unless you are net zero in the future. So in one respect, it's the hygiene factor to participate in commerce. If you are more advanced than this, if you are able to show your customers that you're helping them reduce their carbon emissions, it's a great way to give yourself a commercial advantage. It's useful for everyone because not only do you have to get to net zero, you have to continue to report and demonstrate that you are net zero. Net zero isn't a one-time shot. It's also very different from carbon neutrality. You can't just offset today's emissions by planting trees and be carbon zero tomorrow. You've actually got to mitigate probably about 70 or 80% of today's emissions with a bit of offsetting to get to net zero. What we've tried to do is to make it as easy and as simple as possible for SMEs. So there is a roadmap that offers more functionality, probably more complexity, but I've yet to see something that's as simple, as cost effective, that actually allows SME companies to make a pledge, to make a commitment and start their journey. The aim is to allow SMEs that make up 95% plus of companies to mobilise, and that you look at the data, 70 or 80% of SMEs say they would like to do more but can't find a way to do it that's acceptable to them. Hopefully we've given a significant proportion of those companies the ability to say, I can now see a way to start. And what happens once they've started, we'll work on in the future, but getting them pledged, getting them mobile and getting them measuring, that's what we hope to achieve.